Hi everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I am taking a look at an unboxing this smartphone gimbal from hohem. It's the iSteady Mobile Plus, and early on, a little bit last year, I did a review, a little bit of a look with the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. And have been using that for a while for smartphone stabilization and kind of recording with my iPhone and other Android devices. And earlier on this year, actually not earlier on this year, earlier on this summer, that actually broke. So it does not work anymore, and I just hadn't gotten around to replacing it because I had the DJI Osmo Pocket. And I've been playing around with that, and that has kind of satisfied my need for stabilizing video and that sort of thing. And I just had the opportunity to get and pick up this iSteady Mobile Plus, and had seen it had gotten some pretty good reviews on YouTube, etc., and want to check it out for myself, do an unboxing. So, it's a 3-axis stabilizing gimbal, so very similar to a bunch of other sorts of gimbals that are out there. It's supposed to have pretty decent app support. If you have the DJI product, you know that there's a DJI app for the gimbal. This one has something similar, so we'll take a look at that as well. It does what they're calling an inception mode, so that's the multiple rotations, 2 or 3 rotations. I think it says 600 degrees, so maybe not fully of 3 rotations, maybe 2, but that's when it does the twisting kind of like that as you're kind of zooming in or zooming out. So that should be pretty cool. I got to try that out. Basically, there's a trigger, sport mode, recentering it. It has a max payload of 280 grams. Should work for most smartphones out there unless you have something monstrous. So yeah, so we're gonna do a quick unboxing here and gonna see what we get in the package. And I have been looking forward to getting, another smartphone gimbal. I just didn't want to really spend the money on another DJI one or one of the more expensive ones. But when the opportunity came up and I saw this, I thought, why not? I think right now it's in the sub $100 range. So, fairly affordable, but still high quality. So you can see here it's got the hohem logo. It's just kind of a nice hard shell case. Not hard shell, I guess. Well, I guess it is kind of hard shell. So it has a zipper and a nice way to store it. So inside you see get a little bit of information, warranty card, and kind of tells you how to balance it, etc., that sort of thing. So the app is called hohem Gimbal. So we'll have to download that. I'm gonna test it out with my Galaxy Note. I apologize actually if it look like I have dirty fingers. I was working on my car earlier today and I couldn't get all the grease off of there. But anyways, this is a micro USB. Comes with like a tripod foot, so you can put it down, which is actually pretty nice. I have a couple other ones that I was using with the DJI Osmo setup, but this is nice that it comes with it. And then here's the gimbal itself. I mean, and honestly, it feels very similar to the DJI Osmo Mobile that I used to have. Just feels feels similar. It's a similar style. So if you look on here, there's a couple little LED icons for Bluetooth and the mode. You kind of have your typical little multi-directional pad, kind of like a little zoom wide telephoto zoom slider. Looks like a mode button, power record button there, if you can see that. On the side has a DC out and DC in. So what does that mean? You can charge it, and then you can use it as a power bank as well. It has a connector for some sort of tripod mount or side accessory mount there, which is nice. Get your little button here on the end, charge indicator on the side. And there's also obviously a tripod mount on the bottom, because they give you this little guy here, so we'll screw this in. And then there you go. So you can kind of stand it like that. That's pretty cool. It's hard to get this in frame because I have it's kind of tall. But this is basically what it looks like. Now, what I'm gonna do is, let me see if this is even. So I will try to put the phone inside here. I'm gonna use the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I'm gonna try to use it with the case. Not sure it will fit with the case. Yeah. We'll see if I can. It's always hit or miss when using the case with these things. Okay, so I don't know. Basically, the deal with this one seems like it can't. Galaxy Note 10 Plus is too big to balance with a case. So, as you can see, it does the typical gimbal motion. You can turn side to side, up and down. Fairly smooth motion. So yeah, I mean, just from a stabilization standpoint, it seems decent. I mean, it seems very similar to, like I said, the DJI Osmo Mobile. So what I'm going to do here is actually install the app and get that set up, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to do a recording of the screen as I go through this setup, and I'll put that on the video so that you can see how this works. So I think I might have to turn this on. Okay. Connect device. Says you are using full screen mode. The home, back, and recents buttons are hidden to minimize. Oh, so this is just saying it's using the full screen mode on the phone. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So there you go. So now we're in the actual. All right. So once this connects, you can see that the Bluetooth. I don't know if you can see that. The Bluetooth LED turns blue. And you can kind of see that I'm moving it around and panning left, right, up and down. So what do we have for settings? So there's camera settings. So here you can, it looks like you can set a bunch of settings with the actual camera. There's gimbal settings. Okay, wow, it's just a lot of customization here. So you can do follow speed, so the tilt, the roll, the pan. You can change the joystick speed, whatever the follow dead area is, trim. You can reverse the joystick, the tilt, and the pan. There's advanced settings for the motor, torsion. Already I think that there's a lot more settings here than I ever remember having been as part of the DJI Osmo Mobile. Some information about the firmware, calibration. So it looks like you can do live streaming. So if you have a endpoint on like YouTube Live or something, you can stream it through the app. That's kind of cool. What else is here? So watermark, you can add a watermark. So there's lots of settings related to the camera and the gimbal. Obviously can do from the front side as well. Bunch of settings. You can do exposure, compensation. You can say focus, auto. You can do a bunch of stuff there for the camera. Looks like you can do like spot metering or something like that. Is this object tracking actually? Oops. So it looks like you can do object tracking. There's some filters you can apply. Bluetooth. You can do panorama, video settings. You can do motion lapse, light trail. So that's kind of like long exposure. I actually don't know what the difference between light trail and long exposure is, but those time lapse standard settings. You can do panorama, so that's very similar to others where it will compose and take multiple shots and put those together into a panorama. Don't know what this is, I have to look at that. So the different modes that this has is pan follow mode, and that is switched on by just clicking once on the little mode button. And then if you double click it, it's pan and tilt follow. If you triple tap it, it's basically locks the orientation. So no matter how you turn it, it's basically locked. So if you tap it 4 times, that puts it into all following and inception mode. So basically the tilt axis, the roll axis, and the pan axis will all kind of follow. So that will do the inception turn, I guess. So if you kind of line it up however you want, then you can kind of turn it around. So we'll have to kind of play with this when we're out. But the default mode is just the pan following. So that's kind of the default in most of the gimbals I've ever seen. And it just will slowly follow where you turn the camera. Yeah, so basically this does seem to do a decent job stabilizing the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, right? So that's on the larger side of pretty much any phone that you're going to get nowadays inside, you know, in terms of just the dimensions of it as well as the weight. So this seems to be fairly responsive, and doesn't feel at all cheap. So I'm going to stop the screen recording on this really quick. So overall, this is made very well. So this is all rubber here on the inside of this smartphone grip. You can see, and this has, you know, just fairly decent amount of tension, spring-loaded tension, metal tension rods in there. Also have another mount for accessories. If you want to mount something maybe on the top of that, you can do that. And then this is very similar to, like I said, the Osmo Mobile in just the way that this mechanism all kind of works. So you can adjust here with this lock screw, this lock set screw, to do the balancing of the phone once you get it in there. So you basically can move this in and out to adjust the horizontal balance. And then, you know, the rest of the device, it's all made out of plastic. This has a little bit of a rubber handle grip, so it gives you a little bit more friction, I guess, when you're holding it, so it's not as slippery. And the buttons all have positive feel. Let me take this off. Take off the plastic. Yeah, the buttons all have positive feel. Easily chargeable with the micro USB. Like I said, it has another tripod mount on the side, or accessory mount on the side, and a tripod mount on the bottom for the little foot or whatever else you want to kind of put on the bottom. Yeah, so this is actually pretty nice. For the price point, it's quite a bit cheaper than the other gimbals that come in around the $120 to $150 range. And like I said, using the DJI version of this before, to me this seems very similar to that. You know, just in feel, the build quality all seems like that. Seems similar. The motors seem pretty powerful in the gimbal itself. It didn't struggle with the Galaxy Note 10, which I was kind of curious if it would or not, because like I said, that is a kind of a large phone. It does not work with the case on, so if I want to use a case on the phone when I'm recording, I'll have to get like a very slim case. And I did a review prior of a slimmer case that I was using for, I think, my iPhone XS Max. So I'll have to get one of those sorts of skin cases for this if I want to use this phone. Or I might use the iPhone, you know, when I'm recording, not sure. So, yeah. So overall, I think this is a really good, you know, this seems like a very good deal, a very good quality item. The fact that it comes with the hard case is definitely a nice addition to this. So I had originally planned on doing some recording of video and putting it as part of this review, but right now it's coming in at about 18 minutes, and I don't want to make this video way too long. It's already too long. So what I'm going to probably do is come back and do another video that just shows off some of the video that I will record with this and maybe my Galaxy Note 10 Plus and or the iPhone XS Max, and then just create a separate video that shows the sample footage. So this one is more about the unboxing, the initial thoughts, look, and you know, all of what I just did as part of this review and this initial first look. And I have to say, everything that I've seen so far with this, and I use it a little bit more after the fact of doing the recording for this, it seems like it's a really solid gimbal. I mean, for under $100, I really have to rate this thing, you know, I think like a 5 out of 5, at least in terms of value for money and performance. This gimbal really is good. It really impresses me. So that's it for this video. Like I said, I'll do another recording and put that as a separate video showing off some of the footage of this. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post those below. Please consider subscribing to the channel, giving this a thumbs up. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.